matters of persons living with disability to food systems and agroecology. Now, when you hear the word food systems, there's a lot that must come into your mind. But from the stakeholders' point of view, it's simply a range of initiatives and any other aspects that ensure that the kind of food, that is the growing, the merchandising, and making sure that that food comes from the farm to your dining table, everything in between is streamlined to ensure that you get the best possible deal. But are you actually getting the best possible deal? Those are questions we shall be asking as some stakeholders say agroecology stands at the forefront of ensuring that is achieved. Allow me welcome on the show Ruth Nabagala, Project Officer at AFSA.
Good morning, viewers. I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to communicate with you.
Thank you very much. We also have Elizabeth Kabakoyo, Awola Menti, Pelham, Uganda. How are you?
I'm fine, how are you?
Great. Do you mind explaining to me what is Awola Menti, Pelham?
My name is Elizabeth Kabakoyo. I'm an Awola Menti.
What is?
And I'm a agripreneur. Awola Menti is African Women Leaders in Agroecology. It's an initiative for African women who are in agroecology that are training women mentees. We have mentors that are training us to advance our leadership skills in agroecology.
All right.
It's in between countries, Kenya, Uganda, and Zimbabwe.
So what is agroecology?
Agroecology is the natural way of growing crops, or is the natural way of agriculture, or to make sustainable farming system so that we cannot lose our own foods. The
natural way of engaging in agriculture.
Yes.
That one causes a bit of fear. There must be very many unnatural ways, but that's not the discussion for the day. So what is the women imperative in this? Is it a question for AFSA?
Yes.
Yeah.
AFSA, I will talk about AFSA. AFSA is the Alliance for Food Sovereignty in Africa. And just to also further unpack Elizabeth's explanation of agroecology, it is a way of farming that takes care of nature. You know, the type of farming that while you're farming, you make sure that you don't destroy nature, but you interact with nature. You make sure that you don't destroy the food for the animals, you don't destroy the worms that are helping produce fertilizer for the plants. It's the type of farming that takes care of everything around you, the animals, the people around you. You don't have to abuse the people around you to produce anything. So agroecology, as you know, agroecology is the type of farming like we talked, like I've talked about. And agroecology also is focused or stands on 13 pillars, which we would call the principles of agroecology. I'm talking about these pillars to bring in the role of the women around this area.
That's right.
The 13 pillars, I could mention a few of them. One of them being recycling is very key in agroecology. Biodiversity is very key in agroecology. Input reduction, especially synthetic input reduction, is very key. Animal health, we've lived in Uganda. Sometimes we take care of animals, but we don't take care of their health. We do abuse them. All we care about is to, you know,
get the milk,
get the milk out of them for beef and everything.
Like
Co-creation of knowledge. It is very common in African governments to create knowledge, but we don't consult the people who have the knowledge, like the smallholder farmers, especially the women who are the main producers of food. Synergy, economic diversification. The type of farming we do is, I want to have 1,000 acres of maize, but is that good for nature? Is nature made like that? Is our ecology designed like that? What are the negative impacts of that type? So I've just mentioned a few of those just to bring in the role of women. The role of women in agriculture, and in Africa, we all know that is very high in production of food. they do produce, they are the main producers of food in Africa. They are the ones who make sure that the farm is planned very well, to make sure that we have enough food and we have enough income for the family. They are the ones who are concerned about the diets of our families. They have to make sure that I have some protein on my farm, I have some carbohydrate on my farm, I have some vitamins on my farm. They are the ones that take lead in all this.
Okay.
So when you talk about the principles such as recycling, it is the woman who will ensure that recycling happens. I have to make sure that everything that I have on my farm can be reused in some way within my farm, to decrease on how I use maybe money to bring in something from outside of my farm.
Okay, that points to the fact that perhaps capacity on the part of women to be able to engage in agroecology is very important, but how we reach there is something we shall be talking about very shortly. Let me return to Ms. Kabakoyo. As a mentee with this particular IWOL Pelham initiative, are you part of a greater cohort of women, and is that a direct targeted initiative, and that of course that targets women and young girls to be able to interest them in agriculture, or it is part of a more academic endeavor, so to speak?
Thank you so much. Yeah, true agroecology, it's a space to empower young people, or to empower other women into the agroecology leadership. I personally, Elizabeth Kabakoyo, I had lost hope in agroecology, but because of this initiative, because of the mentorship that I've got into agroecology, I've done I've re-transferred myself from where I was to where am I, because I'm a producer of biofertilizer that is eco-organic. The time I started the initiative, or I started our mentorship, it was still on idea level when I have not yet started generating income. But you find out now currently I'm transitioning from one step to another, and then I'm getting all the opportunities that I really needed as a young person into this agriculture. And this mentorship has made me to love nature, to love agriculture, to love what really exists, what we will have as we Ugandans, or we are the environment. You find out that this also has given me a lot of platforms and energy to shine out as a young person, to inspire others to come join agroecology, because this is the pathway where we have to be, because everyone needs health food. Okay,
when it comes to the scope of this initiative, the woman, especially the traditional woman, is practicing agroecology without knowing. They appreciate some of the fundamentals of agroecology without even appreciating the dynamics. You talked about the fact that they ensure a good diet for the children at home, but within the rural settings, it has to be more directed. How is AFSA and perhaps any other stakeholder out there targeting these rural women, leave alone those in pre-urban or peri-urban settings where they could do a bit of gardening for the sake of beauty and taking some photos and stuff like that? The rural woman is doing it for subsistence, the ability to enable the family go forward, to be able to have something to eat, but in a sustainable way. What is the capacity building agenda?
Yes, thank you so much for that question. And I will highlight a number of capacity building agendas. And I will start from how we've been losing the system, or the rural women have been losing the system. You say they might do it, but they might not be doing it in the right way.
That's right.
Because of the practices that are coming in. You know, you need 7 acres of maize to get money. But you find that she has the 7 acres or the 5 acres or the 3 acres she owns, or she's able to plant on, she has used for planting maize or sugarcane in some areas in Uganda. Then she has to get money to balance the diet of the family. Those are the practices that have been coming in Africa.
That's right.
So now the capacity building that is being done by the stakeholders in Uganda is, please note that you have the power in your hands. You have the power, even if you have 1 acre, you're able to diversify within that acre to make sure that you have everything. Access to food and nutritious food is better than access to money that will lead you to look for the food elsewhere, which will even be more expensive. So just, you know, refreshing the woman's mind from the practices that used to be done a long time ago. You know, having a number of yams that even when it's when the climate is not good, you're able to still feed your family in a nutritious manner. Having a number of vegetables within your family that you're able to, in case it shines so much, in there's a drought, you're able to irrigate and still be able to feed your family. So it's the type of refreshing the minds, building the capacity of the women to understand that the power of managing food systems within your family, within your community, within the country is in your hands. That's what is taking place.
Okay, that's very enlightening. And now on the economic front, of course, we know we want the food for subsistence, but we need to be able to put food on the market, do some business, and then move forward, perhaps receive the necessary capital that is required to do any other business out there. This one goes to Elizabeth Kabakoyo.
Yes.
The business imperative in agroecology. If you have an acre, can you be able to do farming that another person could be perhaps achieving on 10?
Yes, because agroecology encourages co-creation and also encourages economic diversification, being that it doesn't allow you guys to only plant single crop.
Okay.
You intercrop different crops and then you end up harvesting different yields or different incomes. You find that the farmer doesn't only plant single crop, just you find that he's planting interplant it with beans and plant it with maize, and the time you intercrop it with yams. You find that tomorrow we'll be selling up yams, tomorrow we'll be selling in beans, the other day we'll be selling in the other day we'll be selling in another crop. You find that it allows you guys to have a lot of crops in a single space, so that you see that you find out that it's because it's still practiced. They are planting trees, they plant it with coffee, they plant it with bananas, they plant it with cassava. You find the farmer is harvesting cassava, next time is going to harvest matoke. You find that next time there is a fruit that is into the coffee that the children will go and eat food as they are waiting the food to be ready. You find that like it's economically giving out income for this, and also being that I'm an entrepreneur, it's really a good space or really a great opportunity for everyone to join agroecology, because there is income into it. Everyone needs to go back to their own. Where
there is money, people want to be, no doubt about that.
Yeah, because everyone wants to go back to their own. I know also yourself, you still miss the other nutritious food that you used to eat.
No, I still do my very organic foods, and I order them from Butaleja straight, so that I cannot, I still stay within line. I want to be 90 years sometime, no doubt about it.
This is what we're advocating for.
All right. Now, talking about taking on this opportunity, there's something you're up to at Makerere University on Friday?
Freedom Square.
Freedom Square.
Yes. So like we've talked about the role of women in agroecology. There is a lot that women are doing in agroecology in Uganda and other countries. Right now the expo that we have in Freedom Square tomorrow on the 24th is bringing women from Kenya, women from Zimbabwe, and women from Uganda, just showing what they are doing, how they are contributing to Uganda's and Africa's transition to agroecology. What are the different innovations? You've heard Elizabeth, she produces biofertilizer. There are women who are producing spices that are produced agroecologically. There are women who have technologies, different technologies that support, easy production of food. So there is going to be a lot of exposure and showing and discussions around what is happening and the work that is being done around transitioning Africa to agroecology.
Okay, anybody can be part of this, even if I walk through at the Freedom Square tomorrow?
Yes, you're very welcome anytime to contribute to the discussions and to also see
Fully
the
understand.
innovations that are taking place. Yes.
All right, ladies, thank you very much for giving us some perspective on understanding food systems and agroecology. Ruth Nabagala, Project Officer at AFSA, and Elizabeth Kabakoyo, our mentee, Pelham Uganda, many thanks. It's been a pleasure hosting you. That will do it for Take Note, but do stay with us if you can. We shall be right back on gender-based violence and the 16 days of activism. That is coming right up. Stay with us.